Hello and welcome to Rotten Rust Garage. Thanks for joining me, and this weekend got a few things I'm going to try to knock out. Swapping on the brake booster, finishing up with the painting and everything in the engine bay, getting the exhaust system out of this car finally, ripping out some rear brake lines, ripping apart the rear brakes, things like that. It's a lot to do and don't have a whole lot of time this weekend to get after it, so I better jump right in. Alright, well, it's time for me to do what I've been procrastinating on for 2 weeks now, and that is pull this brake booster out of here. I'm not looking forward to it. Up under the dash. Challenging to get to everything, and it's all rusty, and this is not going to be fun. Don't know if I can get this up under the dash with me to see the debacle, but I'm going to mess with it, and if I can get some footage of me cussing, I will. First thing I got to do is get this bolt off of the brake pedal. And I already shot it down with some PV. Let's see, is that on? Nope, that's on Titan. Fun, fun, fun. I can even get at it. I really don't want to drop the steering column, but I may have to get the top bolts on the firewall that go to the booster. So we'll see. It's just going to take a few minutes. And some of these bolts are really rusty, especially this bottom pivot bolt. Wow, I'm going to be here a minute. A couple more turns. And I have to use an extension, otherwise the ratchet won't fit. Oh yeah, and there's I think before I pull this out, there's a crazy spring on there. I don't know what it does. It's not in the factory service manual. It's like perpendicular. It's pulling up on that. So I don't know if I take this bolt out, if that spring will come free easier or harder. Oh, actually it came through, well, very easy, huh? All right. Now if I could just get this thing finished off of here. There we go. That bolt is probably the nicest bolt on the entire car. Look at that thing. It's like brand new. All right. Okay, put this out of the way. Now that lower pivot bolt. Oh boy. How do I get to you? What size is it? All right, that's small. Let's start with like a 9/16 or a 5/8. Definitely not a 9/16. Maybe not. Maybe it is a 9/16. Yep, 9/16. Okay, now I gotta get the head of the bolt. Can I snake in there from over here? It looks like I can. Hang on, let me get an extension long enough. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I got a bad feeling I'm gonna be using a wobbler head. I really don't want to take the steering column out of here, man. I really, 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 really don't. And it's the very top inside nut is going to be my challenge today. So I'll just keep going, see if I can get that far. All right. Goodness gracious. Yeah, maybe. No, golly. Try it with without the extension. What a mess. Wow, this is hard to get to. All right, the nuts off of there. Oh boy, is the bolt gonna come out? Yep. All right. All right. Now, I think I just take these nuts off and I think it should come out. Oh boy, where did I put the nut for that? Right there. Now this is the hard part. This is the part I've not been looking forward to. What do I need? I need a deep well, ½ inch. Great, 12-point socket, not what I want. Yeah, that's ½ inch, jeez Louise. I don't know, maybe I should try for the hardest one first, or so it's not flopping around. Oh man, this is not gonna be good. There's one. Oh boy. That was the easy one. The hard one's way up in there. Oh my goodness. How is that gonna come out? I can't even see it. What is there? Oh, this bracketry's in the way. Oh. Can I snake up over top? All right, well, I tell you what, folks, I'm going to shut you off for a minute so I can lay up in here, get all these tools out of the way, and try for that hardest one next. I'll be back. All right, well, that was a challenge. I got the tough one at the very back top right and had to use every extension I own, a wobbler, and some tape to keep the wobbler from wobbling too much, trying to slide it all the way back in through the dash and maybe way back in there. You can see in the light that stud right there in that area. I can't quite get my finger on it, but snaked all the way in through here since the instrument cluster's out. Had to start off with the deep well, but then it was just spinning. It kept like coming off of it, so I had to end up using the shallow well to once it had come out the stud far enough. All right, so that's I hope that was the hard part. So now just two more that are a little more accessible, and this other top left one I think I'm going to go straight in through the instrument cluster again, so let me give that a shot. All right. Oh, hey, oh, ouch. Okay, well, if I disconnected that properly, this should come out, in theory. Oh, nope, it looks like there's a bolt right up here too on this plate. Just that one up top. I think that's it. Let me go get some wrenches. Zip that one off of there. Starting to look better in here, you might have noticed. Just got the rust reformer on everything. All right. Then I need the glossy paint. I want this thing out of here first. Yeah, I gotta get that starter relay out too. I keep forgetting. I'm afraid to unplug all these wires because it gets spicy if I do that. Yeah, could they put a longer stud on there? All right, now maybe see if it comes out of here. I know it's gonna hang up on that rod. That's gotta fit through the firewall. That'll be the next challenge. Oh, I don't have any light in here. Let's see if I can get that thing to flop in the right direction. Oh my gosh, that thing is rotted. All right, baby, come on. Here, oh, there we go. And it's out. Look at the rust on that, man. But I got a new one. And it's got a new plate, a bigger booster. I think it's, I don't know, man, Bendix style. This one is pretty shot. It may still work, but I don't care. I've got all new pivots as well. That is about seized up where it goes to the brake pedal, and that should move. I don't know if I need these bushings or not. We'll see. All right, let's get out of here. All right, you go that way. Oh, I guess while I'm here, might as well pull you off of here too. Daggone. Work, work, work. Nine sixteenths. Tempted to get a new relay. Washer. And what else is on there? Goodness, that thing is tiny. That might be a quarter. I don't even have a quarter out here. Nope. All right, well, I'll be back in a little bit. You'll find some tiny wrenches, maybe my 1/4-inch drive stuff. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, well, beautiful morning out. Got a lot done yesterday. Finally got this thing out of my way. That's nice. Now today I got to paint finally. The final coat, top coat. So I'm going to do that, and it's going to be awesome. So, you know, here we go. Alright, well, that's done. By no means a professional paint job. I'm not a pro at painting, and that's out of a rattle can. So, you know, it's an engine bay. I can afford to be a little sloppy, get some good factory runs in there, whatever. But overall, it's just going to look a lot cleaner, which it's important to me. I will say I got a door open and a fan going, and I wore the mask. Highly recommend that. Man, don't do it in an enclosed space without breathing all that garbage in. Man, it is bad. I could smell it through the mask. It was seeping down through. So highly recommend that. Then I let it ventilate for a little while. Now I'm back in here. Let this dry for a couple hours today, maybe even till tomorrow. Then I'll jam that booster in there. Right now I got a whole bunch of other things to do. I might jump into the interior and go ahead and put POR 15 on all the rust on the floor that's gonna remain in the car. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. Plenty to do. Always. Okay, so I'm finally back in the shop now to start working on the power booster for the brake system. So I got the other one out. Now it's time to get the new junk in, and this is a pretty cool, slick little setup. I like it, but immediately, you know, you're going to run into problems sometimes with even brand new parts. So let me show you this. With this kit came, you know, obviously a brand new back bracket, the booster here, everything, new hardware, some good stuff, right? Well, this is the gasket that came with it, okay, to go around here. But this gasket, if you notice when I put it on, yes, it's split because it does not fit around there. It's missing at least inch and a half, 2 inches of material. It just was too small. How they sent it. Now, at least they sent these foam gaskets, and that's really cool. It'd be kind of cool also if they checked it before they stamped this out of their foam that it actually fit. So what I've done is I found some similar foam. I hoard this kind of foam stuff, right? When it comes in packaging or whatever, I hoard this stuff because if you've ever worked on old cars, you'll know that this stuff is used for body gaskets all over the place. Like a tail lamp lens that bolts through the back panel and the nuts go on the inside of the trunk. Well, this stuff's going to be in there somewhere. It's like maybe 3/16, quarter inch thick, whatever. I hoard this stuff in a big bag upstairs. So what I did is I busted out some giant 3/4 inch drive sockets, traced it out. Obviously you can see that is just, you know, whatever, close enough, but it fits pretty good. Just cut it out, and now I'm just going to chuck this aside. I won't throw this away though, because this may come in handy at some point. It also came with this gasket, and you can see on the old booster, real quick show on this thing, a couple of things about this old booster. You see down inside of here, there is that closed cell or open cell, whatever you call it, foam gasketing between the backing plate and the booster. And that's what I need because, well, I'll show you on the other one in a second here, but water can get between this plate and the booster, particularly on the new one, and this will go right into the car if you don't have that gasket on there. And then this one goes obviously between the backing plate and the firewall, and it also has this little piece of foam here. Well, the kit didn't come with that little piece of foam, so all I did was use the little circular piece of foam that punched out of this that was still in the kit, and I went ahead and slid that onto the post. I'm guessing that's almost probably, it doesn't hold out any water, but it's more like a spacer, I guess, because you're going to have all this other foam between that and the firewall, right? So you can see these ribs here. if you look close, and you can see how, you know, if water comes down from under the hood or whatever, you're spraying out your engine compartment, whatever, however it gets in there, it can go right down through there. And if this gasket's not on there and compressed in, then it's going to get into the cab of the car. Now, this also then goes on there, brand new plate. You can see it'll smash that down. And then this gasket goes on, right? And then that's where the other little gasket would be to match this one in terms of depth. All right, so just gonna put this together. One of the challenging things about putting this in, obviously it's front heavy, so I can't just, you know, stick these through the firewall. It's gonna try to fall back out. The only thing holding it in will be this that goes to the brake pedal. So I might have to wait for my son to get home. We'll see. I'm gonna, you know me, I'm gonna try it anyway, solo. Might be able to rig up some kind of clip up here up to the hood to hold it in position. Who knows? We'll figure something out. Then I'm going to wrestle these bolts in. So let's see how it goes. Oh, wait, before we go anywhere, this kit also came with a brand new one of these, which is really good. See, that should be able to move, okay? On this one, this thing is toasted, man. This hardly moves right here. So that's no bueno. Yeah, this thing's pretty rough. Not going to throw it away, but I will also show you this with this booster. You jam that spring close in the diaphragm, it does not want to come back up. Takes it a while. I can pull it back up, but it should spring back like that, but just does not want to. So that spring is shot. I don't know if the diaphragm's any good. It might be. Not going to throw this away. This, you know, it can be rebuilt at some point. Off camera, I'm going to try and wrestle. There's little clips right here that help hold the foam in place while you jam this against the wall. There's 2 of them. I'm going to do my best to try and get those clips off of this. But we'll see how that goes. Looks like might be a different size nut. I need to make sure that's the same size stud on this one and the other one. And then I can use these clips. Very nice. Might as well go ahead and tighten this one down too. This inside of here has a steel spacer that this shaft goes through, that the bolt goes through, so you can't over tighten this. It'll collapse on that spacer before the width of this actual plunger. What size is that? 7/16. Nope, also 1/2 inch, maybe. Yep. It's easier to do this out here than underneath that dash, I can tell you that now. Oof. Now this one you can over tighten, so I'm only going to go so far. It's got a nylock on it. That still moves pretty freely, but again, that bolt's not coming free. So, cool deal. Now I just got to shove it in there. All right, next. Oh, hey, yeah, this thing. Yeah, this clips on here. Pretty straightforward. It's got a little tab right there. It appears to need to be bent a little further down to lock in place. This came off the old one, just to keep your wires from flopping around. Done. All right, too easy. Now the hard part. See if how this is gonna go. Yeah, let's see if I can fish this through there. Mostly. No. Huh? All right, interesting. A little bit of a tight squeeze. Now I gotta find those holes. Gotta come up. Huh. Interesting. It's off by a fraction because of this up here. Great. Can I force it? Maybe. Generally, that's not the right answer. It should be going in. Oh. What is holding this out? Something wrong. All right. That doesn't seem right. All right, let me investigate. Okay, so that's finally in there. That was super easy. Not even close. That was a bear. You know, I really thought the hard part was going to be the bolts way back in underneath of the dash. I thought certainly trying to get the nuts fed through the dash and onto the four little posts, you know, to the firewall was going to be the challenging part. That was the easy part. Just getting the daggone thing through the firewall was amazingly difficult. I ended up busting out files. The new one, the boot that goes around the plunger that, you know, will attach the linkage, will attach to the brake pedal. That that boot, the bellows on that boot is it's got to be a half an inch, you know, more in diameter than the original one. So it did not want to fit through the hole. It kept, you know, crushing down and binding up so that I couldn't even get the bolts to the holes, much less through the holes. So I had to file out the sheet metal, you know, and get that opened up. And then finally, after, you know, 600 tries of, you know, fitting that, the boot finally slid through freely. But then the bolt holes, it just fractionally off from the original, this repop. And they wouldn't all four go through. So back out it comes and get out the round file and start slowly going away at the bolt holes. I don't want to just hog them out way bigger and have this thing all flopping around. I want it to be somewhat fixed as those nuts go on the bolts, the studs going through the firewall, to where it's in the correct position. So anyway, so long story short, finally got it through. And the easy part was just, you know, getting the nuts on a deep well socket and feeding it through the dash. The key to doing this on at least a B body, it seems, with the dash still in the car, is to take the instrument cluster out and get every extension you have to where you got about 28 inches. And you use a deep well socket on a wobbler with tape around the wobbler so it doesn't flop. You know, you got to keep that kind of rigid and feed them through, get them started, and then run them on down. That wasn't too bad. I'm exhausted from that. So anyway, on to some simple stuff now. I'm just going to have an easy time right now. I'm going to get my files out of the way, and I'm going to go ahead and slap the battery tray, the vacuum canister, something simple, like something kind of semi-rewarding to get done. So let me do that. All right, the hoses go towards the rear. And these are just like sheet metal screws that go through the frame rail. Got a little bit of rust reformer on, whoops, hey, on the rusty tips of those. Get this one started. And this one. And we'll plug those vacuum lines in a while. Once I get the lines all routed. I gotta go online to one of these restoration places and buy all the little straps that I broke getting the wiring out of the way to paint. So worry about that some other day. Just nice to be putting things back on the car finally after weeks of taking things off. No matter how small, it just always feels good to put things back on, especially when it's clean and neat. This doesn't have to be torqued to the bejeez. So, all right. Got some new brackets, new battery tray that I bought from Mancini Racing. It was 34 bucks, made for the car. So it looks like that's going to be a win. Came with hardware and the 2 brackets here. So nice little kit. And I think I got to go underneath and slide these clips on. So I'll be back in a minute. Yeah, all right. All right. Those may need to be love tapped into place. Yeah. I have to spread them open some to get them on there. But that's where they go. They were just missing. Was easy enough. All right, that's the U-nuts on the back side. Then let's see, how do these go? All right, so you got a long slot. They're opposite directions. What have I done here? Let's see, so those go at the bottom. All right, and there should be, yep, there's a welded nut at the bottom. So let me get that started. One. Gonna get this second one going. Where's that at? It's good that everything's black now because you can't see nothing in here. I need to get an extension. I think we got one here. I don't want these all the way tight yet. Just finger tight will do me. Once I get everything very good, finger tight, get everything all lined up. This goes like here. Oh yeah, so nice. Even got a little drain that goes to the outside of the engine bay, and this goes from here to there. Oh, yeah, all right, pretty easy. So I get all these started. Missing a couple bolts. All right. And then the bracket here. It's a lot of brackets for a battery tray. And one more bolt. And there it is. So just tighten it all down now. Good. That looks okay. Whole thing's come together. A couple extra clips. Save on those. Now I'm at the point where I got to start running brake lines, and I'm not really looking forward to the front to rear brake line. That's going to be painful because I got to cut that one and put a proportioning valve in it. Because remember, I'm using the drum brake distribution block, and that was what was recommended to me. I bought a new one, but they said, nope, just use that, cut the rear line, put a prop valve in it. That way you can dial it in, an adjustable proportioning valve. And that way I can dial it in, you know, a little less back brakes, a little more front brakes. That'll help with burnouts eventually when there's enough power in the engine to do that. So I suck. Yeah. So, not really looking forward to that. But I guess it'd probably be better to go ahead and maybe next step I'll just do something destructive, like finally get the exhaust out. I did find holes in the mufflers, at least on one of them, so both of them are going to go away. So it's just going to cut those right out of there, save on the pipes, and then modify those to fit with the big block headers at some point down the road. And in getting those out of there, that'll give me more room to get to the back brake lines. Then I got to blow apart the back drums, new wheel cylinders. I'll go through all of the drum brakes there and kind of work my way forward, and you know, leave everything up here loose. I got a new master cylinder to go in, and just start plumbing it all up. Get the front end together. Throw an engine in it. Not today though. I was right. That was rewarding. And it was also easy because it took 5 minutes and it fit together nice. So yay. Yay. New parts that fit. Crazy. All right. So this morning I'm going to go ahead and start pulling the back brakes apart, get the wheel cylinders out both sides, and that way, you know, go ahead and mangle out these back brake lines and start back here, work my way forward. Gonna go ahead and redo the back brakes, obviously, while I'm in here. Don't know if this is your first time joining me. Welcome. But if you've watched previous videos where I was just pulling the tires off of this thing, it's a 1969, so driver's side, left-hand thread, so righty-loosey. But this one was not. This one was lefty-loosey. And now you can clearly see here with, hopefully maybe you can see, somebody's been in here and we got new wheel studs on there. That explains that. I was wondering initially, I didn't really take the time to look. I was wondering initially if maybe the rear end had been swapped on. But in order to put these studs in, the axle had to come out. And so obviously somebody's been in here. That's not a big deal if they took the axle out. I'm curious what the bearings are like. You know, they seem okay. This axle's going to have to come back out again soon anyway, at some point, because the center section in this is it's a peg leg, and I want a sure grip in here. So I'm on the hunt for one, 489 case, big pinion, the heavy duty one, and hopefully like a 355 gear, somewhere in that flavor range. And you know, they're out there. Find them on the marketplace or Craigslist, etc. So I just gotta keep hunting for that. But anyway, meantime, plenty to do. You know, when I find that, I'll take care of all that. But I think these bearings are okay. But this one doesn't want to come off. There we go. Oh, the magic lube did the trick. And this doesn't look terrible in there. Got some good meat on the brake shoes. They're not split as far as I can tell. These look like they were working pretty good. So, all right. Now it's just a matter of taking it all apart. Oh yeah, parking brake. That one is crunched on good. There we go. Damn. Yeah, it's the little U-clip that you spin together to hold that parking brake in position. Alright. This will come out. Alright, there's the rear brakes. For this side, now I gotta bust free the back of the wheel cylinders. Let's get some juice on there. I'll let that soak for a minute, and I'll go hit the other side. Now up to this point, I've spent the majority of my time at the front of the car. No time back here yet. until today. And I can see, in addition to getting the wheel cylinders off and fighting these brake lines off, there's other things obviously that need to be done while I'm back here. Get rid of these ancient shocks. That'll probably be a little bit of a battle. There's no fuel tank in the car. Gives me a little bit more room. But, you know, while that tank is out, I want to get after all of this surface rust. Even though the trunk floor is bad, I think I've mentioned in previous videos, I'm going to leave it for now. Someday down the road, I'll replace it all. Talk about all that later. But while I'm under here, you know, I'm going to evict all the spiders, get some surface rust and some, you know, rust reformer taken care of. This fuel line looks pretty good. But while I'm back here, I'm going to shoot carb cleaner all into it. And then I'm going to take the air compressor and shoot air through it so that I can make sure it's nice and clean. And I got to get these mufflers cut off of here. And yep, there's plenty to do. Might as well get started. Well, I'm all the way under here and I forgot some tools. Maybe a wire brush is in order to clean some of this grime off of this thing here so that my little wrench will fit. Bust this brake line free, possibly. Oh man, it doesn't want to go on there. Come on, baby. We got a fighter on our hands. Really? Oh, that's terrible. All right. That's off of there. This is going to be one of those days, I can already tell, where I drag every single tool I own out of the toolbox. This is where a lift would be handy. So much easier to get around, get to things. It's a challenge just getting up out from underneath this car half the time. You've got to be kidding me. There, finally. Now that I got the Sawzall out, I'll go ahead and hit those mufflers, get those out of the way. All right, that was super easy. And just like that, one wheel cylinder. Oh God, locked. Yeah. Nice. All right, shock's coming out. This bottom nut is easy. Top one, not so much. Not so much. Oh boy. She on there. Come on. That thing is smoked on there. Golly. Well, I'm gonna wrestle this for the next 35 minutes. Y'all go get a cold beverage. Oh, that was an epic battle to get this dang thing off of here. Goodness gracious. Junk. Yep, 100% shot. Yeah, she's done. Okay. Golly, now let me fight the other one out. That seriously took 45 minutes just to get a shock absorber out. That's insanity. But at least I got a bunch of rust and stuff in my mouth and down my shirt. That's pretty awesome. Okay. One down. Yeah. Filled with rust. No good. Let me go do the other one now. Yahtzee! Look at all the trash that came out of the back of that. Gosh, get off me. Timber. Here's a good look at the driver's side muffler. It's ventilated in too many places. So yeah, obviously they kind of look like Flowmasters, but obviously they need to be replaced. You know, I might be able to use some of this exhaust. We'll see. They seem like they're in really good shape for the most part. I don't know, we'll just have to see if I can reuse on them, at least for temporary, until I get some really nice custom exhaust put on it. So that's going to do it for this weekend's episode. Got a little bit more done today, and I got to wrap it up. Got to get out the old chainsaw and go clean up a bunch of branches and some small trees that fell during the ice storm a few weeks ago. It's a little bit of a nice day outside, at least probably 55 degrees. So good day to go out and do some sweating out in the yard. Hopefully over the next week or two, I'll be able to get all the frame rails and everything cleaned up, spritzed with some rust reformer, where the new brake lines will go on. And you know, here shortly, I'd like to be putting more new parts back on. Parts are starting to show up. Got to order some more stuff though for the back brakes, obviously. I'm pretty sure on this car that the front and rear drum brakes share the same brake shoes and hardware. And I got all the new hardware that was in the front drum brakes when I pulled those off a couple episodes ago. So probably reuse on some of that stuff. Go ahead and order some brand new shoes for the back. And at some point start pulling all that together. Haven't decided yet if I'm going to go ahead and pull the axles and drop the center section out, because I don't really want to do that yet since I don't have a replacement for it. So we'll get, I'll burn that bridge when I get to it. I don't know. So hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe, and join me again in a couple more weeks. I'll throw up another video and see how much more progress we can make on this long-term project. Have a great day.